Hey, this is your girl, msyelladiva. I am bringing you another episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 8, Boots on the Ground, honey. Um, Now, I apologize for being so late. Your girl had to work at the hospital 3 days in a row, night shift 7P to 7A. And so I try to get it in whenever I can, but they was running me ragged at the hospital. So this is a little late. So it's like Friday evening or something like that. I'm gonna still try to get it out this Friday and not the day before the next one come out. But listen, y'all, y'all gotta give me some grace, okay? Anyway, all right, good people. If you're new here, welcome, 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 welcome. We do TV and movie reviews here, okay. And if you are returning, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right now. All right, give me a thumbs up, comment, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and we will begin. All right. All right, so Shamia wrote a country song, okay? Want to hear it go, okay? we gonna give it the quick version. Porsha and Drew got into it. And if nobody remembers that reference, that is in living color, okay? wrote a song about it. Want to hear it go. Porsha and Drew got into it. And they're gonna whoop Portia's ass. Cynthia, she working my nerve. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Anyway, so what I want to know is, why did the episode begin the next day and not where it left off, where the girl said that Shamia sucked some dick? Okay, we still don't know whose dick she was sucking, but the reference was Dennis dick. Okay, that was the reference, but she ain't say Dennis dick, but that was the reference, that she sucked Dennis dick. Okay, how come we ain't go back to the table to find out what happened after that? Okay, that's what I needed to know. I needed to know to be continued. I guess if it don't say to be continued, then it don't continue where it left off. It is the next day. Truly original. Y'all gotta work on that. Cause I needed to know what happened after that. But anyway, the next day. Okay, Pistol Grip Britt calls her husband and he says he misses her because apparently they are codependent. So yeah, I guess he does miss her. But he said he miss her. And she tells him that Angela was advocating for Drew to come on this trip. And she said she rubbed me the wrong way at the peach brunch. When she asked you about how you lose your license, is that how she rubbed you the wrong way? When she asked you about how you lost your license? Okay. Cause I'm like, I don't see how she rubbed you the wrong way. Maybe because she kind of checked you. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But she said she rubbed me the wrong way, so she gonna keep her distance. Okay, we'll see. Gerald takes Shiloh to the doctor's appointment. And she FaceTimes Shamia. Now Shamia telling the doctor that she was kind of congested and coughing and things like that, and the doctor was like, she got an ear infection. But what I want to know is, Gerald is such a hands-on dad. Why couldn't he tell her daughter's symptoms? his daughter's symptoms. Why couldn't he tell her that? Why he had to FaceTime Shamir? Did he just want to FaceTime Shamir just because he wanted, the family dynamic? And second of all, where she got a nurse, and she got what a mama at that take care of her? Where the nanny at? Where all those folks? I'm just asking. She said he's a phenomenal dad, and that's why she want to give him a son. Shamia, I understand. He a wonderful dad. He take care of everything and all the other stuff. But if you bring another child into that house, baby, you gonna have to quit your job. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. Because you if you don't quit your job, you're going to be like these ladies on Real Housewives of Detroit. Not Real Housewives of Detroit. Love and Marriage Detroit. Where they working all the time and they feel guilty about not spending time with their children. Okay? So, I think you need to quit your job and be a hands-on mama. Okay? Not to say that you're not a hands-on mama. I'm not saying that. But you just going to have to be a housewife. Okay? Because you need to take care of your 3 children. I think they all of them under age of maybe 5 or 6. You need to take care of your 3 children. If you have another one, if you have another one, especially you definitely got to take care of Shiloh. She got special needs. And if you need a nurse, give me a call. I got 30 years in the game. Okay, but give me a call. Okay. All right. But you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to do something else. Okay. You gonna have to stop. You're gonna have to stop working I'm not saying forever. You just gotta stop working for right now. You gotta get your house in order, baby. You just can't be hiring folks. You gotta get your house in order, baby. Anyway, let me get off this soapbox. Anyway, so Cynthia and Angela, they talked. They got their little breakfast and they talking out in the back. And so Angela said, I just got a loyalty to Drew. And then she said that Porsha called her Victimina at the table last night, and they showed where she called her Victimina, but we didn't see that because it didn't continue at the table. Okay, we should have saw it that way. We'd have known that she called her Victimina, but whatever the case may be. And Cynthia, come here, baby, come here. That lip filler that you had right here, I think you needed to let that set in, because your lips was like this. Okay? That wasn't cute at all. But, yeah, but Angela was like, I don't know why she called me Victimina. And so then Cynthia was like, well, where is Drew? She's like, she been on her way since last night. She said it ain't but a 35-minute plane ride from Atlanta to Nashville. Where she at? So, Angela was like, she texted me 3 hours ago that she was on the flight. So, but then Cynthia was like, yeah, well, I know how Porsha feels. Them baby daddies hit different. People don't be messing with Leon. Girl, stop bringing up your baby daddy, honey. You ain't been no more thought about him. You done got married twice about him. Girl, go with that. You ain't marrying him. You ain't marrying him, so you... It didn't hit that damn different, did it? Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. Anyway, so Angela was like, well, I get that, she said, and I expressed that to Drew. She said, but now I'm catching strays. And so in the confessional, Angela said, yeah, they attacked me, they attacked Drew, they attacked my character. She was like, but I stood 10 toes down. That's right, with your size 12 feet, you stood 10 toes down. Yes, girl, yeah. So they go back to the house. They go back in the house. Angela's like, my wig is melted. Angela. First of all, Cynthia was like, girl, don't be talking about your wig, wig no more. But Angela, you need to get a different hairstyle, baby. We don't know what's going on up under that wig. You could be suffering from alopecia like me. Okay, you could be doing that, because I ain't got no hair on my head either. But what you need to do is get a different wig, or you need to get a different style. Okay, maybe some braids if you got your edges and stuff like that. Maybe some braids, or maybe something like that. They got the little no sweat glue. I seen it on TikTok, so you need, the TT. We ain't gonna say the other folks, but I seen it on the TT. Okay, where they pull it like this, and they swimming and stuff like that. So they make glue that's holds really well. So you might need to invest in that. You need to go look on the TT. Anyway, so Drew finally makes it. Cynthia told him they going to whiskey tasting. I keep messing that thing up. Whiskey tasting and drink making. So then she finds Angela getting her wig tacked back down. And she getting her makeup done, and she said, "Drew, your room is over here." So Drew going to this little room with the bunk beds, and she was just like, "This looked like an orphanage," and I was just like, "Oh, it's a hard knock life for us." And somebody said no, ain't nothing there. And somebody said she looked like Annie with that red wig on. But yeah. So then Angela asked her has she spoken to Porsha, and she was like, no, why? And she was like, well, Angela was like, to get the heat off me. And she said, you see all my war wounds? And she was just like, you brought that on yourself. I know that's right, Drew. You brought that on yourself. They got nothing to do with me. I know you brought that on yourself. So they get dressed, and what does Pistol Grip, Britt, and Kelly have on, honey? Kelly got her titties out with some pasties on and a little net thing cover her breast. Well, it ain't even coming. You can see all the breast, okay? And she got some pasties over her nipples. And then Pistol Grip Britt come out with her whole ass out, and then she got the little lace stuff, the little net stuff covering her thong. Paris, come here, baby, come here. Are you trying to dress them like twins? Okay, because that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. And I don't know where they going, because you looking like you going to work as one of the strippers, for real. And Kelly, you my girl, you a Pisces and everything like that, but come on, girl. I don't know where you thought you was going with that. I just to go make some drinks, girl, go on with that shit. Anyway, so Shamia and Porsha up in her room, and of course Porsha has some rib boxes. Okay, not like rib, like one rib, but two rib boxes in her room. And so Porsha was like, yeah, that went down this morning. She was like, forget breakfast. I'm eating these ribs. Girl, okay then. So But then Porsha say, that thing in there. Oh my God. Okay. That thing in there. And she talking about Angela. She was gaslighting me. Okay. So then Shamia was like, oh, Shamia. She said, well, I'm just going to tell everybody, no gaslighting today. Girl. You stupid. Okay, come on now. Come on. So they leave. And Drew gives Porsha a hug and says happy birthday. Olive Branch. Okay, we're going to keep it going. So they ride to the bars. Okay, so Shamia gets emotional in the back seat because apparently somebody, she was married to a guy in about 2008, and he was abusive. He smacked her out of her red bottoms, her first red bottoms, in public, and so she was ashamed. And so he was abusive, and apparently somebody said that they didn't believe her until they texted her and said that they believed her. We don't know who that was, why, but she got emotional on the back. And of course, then she dealing with Shiloh. You know, it is what it is, Sweet Pea. So Shamia, Kelly, and Porsha go to Coyote Ugly to make some drinks. I don't know why Pistol Grip Britt didn't go, but I think they needed to have that conversation in the other thing, and so they can talk about Angela. But and Cynthia, Drew, Pistol Grip, and Angela go to whiskey tasting. Okay, so Porsha, the princess of Thotlandia. So they're supposed to take shots on the bar with no hands, right? So Kelly, Shamia did it first. So then Porsha, the princess of Thotlandia, go down and start licking the drink, okay? Because you know she liked to be licked and she liked to lick. Okay, so she was licking the drink, okay? Because somebody gonna eat her out that night. And Bolo Gate, okay? Somebody was gonna eat her out that night, okay? And she told Candy she want Candy to sit on her face until she come, okay? So she liked to lick and get licked, okay? So, but anyway, she was that, and she was okay. Then she deep throated it, okay? Deep throated it, okay? Deep throated it, okay? All right, and we understand why she knew that Dennis liked fellatio, because apparently she was deep throating Dennis's penis too, okay? So they go back to the whiskey tasting, and Drew wants to buy a bottle of whiskey for Porsha for her birthday, and with her picture, their picture on it and everything like that. Okay, another olive branch. Okay, so Porsha also plans a cowboy dinner tonight. And so then Porsha was like, Drew should have a good time because she already lit with all this whiskey she drinking. But anyway, so they go back to the Coyote Ugly, and so they're cleaning up, wiping the bar down and everything like that. So that was very nice of them to even clean up after they did all their stuff. But anyway. So this scene was very confusing to me, okay? So Porsha says that Angela is setting Drew up to come to a house with a negative vibe. Huh? Huh? How is Angela setting Drew up to come to a house with a negative vibe? Y'all already had a negative vibe about Drew. Okay? So how is Angela setting this up? Then Shamia said her and Angela rode to the peace brunch together, and that Angela said, now this is Shamia saying it. Angela said that I feel a certain way about Drew. I feel like Drew was talking trash to Kelly about me.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
So, they played that beautiful bean footage, okay? And it said on the TV screen what Angela actually said, okay? So we already know that Shamia lying, okay? We already know Shamia lying because it says what Angela actually said was, Angela said that Kelly was throwing a little shade to Drew about me last night. But whatever Kelly had to say, we will find out about it. But I'm more concerned with Drew's reaction to it. That's what she said. I don't know what the fuck Shamia was talking about. But Shamia, you may be trying to you may be on the wrong road. As Porsha said, you may be on the wrong road, okay? So you need to come back to the right road, okay? Wrong road, Shamia. Wrong road, okay? So, but the whole table, as far as I'm concerned, is delusional. So they go back to the whiskey tasting. So Angela asked, Drew, we missed you last night, but I held it down. And Cynthia was like, yeah, how many people came at you last night? And so she said, everybody came after me. She said, but I just felt like Porsha was hurt because I invited Drew, but I felt like they should talk because they were actually friends and they should talk. That's why I invited you. So Pistol Grip Britt said, well, that was more of you trying to play the victim because you said you were catching the heat, and that's what playing victim is. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay. So Angela was like, well, give me an example of how I'm playing the victim. Britt was like, well, I thought that I would get more support at the peace brunch, but nobody had empathy for me, and it not even now. Y'all don't have any empathy for me.
Emotional, damn it!
Jesus Christ!
Shut up, bitch!
God damn. Now who's playing the victim? Pistol Grip. Who's playing the victim now? Okay. Who is playing the victim? I need to know. I need to know who's playing the victim. So Angela was like, well, the way you walked in, it felt like you was entitled. And Drew said, listen, us showing up at the peach brunch was us showing you support. Okay? Then, oh, Cynthia, honey. Oh my God. She like, you can't tell this woman how she should show up to a damn brunch after something like that happened to her unless y'all have a picture up there with a penis in your mouth. Y'all can't tell her how to show up.
Shut up, bitch.
Okay. All right. All right. So Brit, first of all, let me get back to Cynthia for a minute. Cynthia, come to the table. You wasn't even there when Brit Pistol Grip said that I have a pistol in my purse for bitches like you. Not once, not twice, but 3 times she said it. Okay? And you can't tell Kenya how to come back at her. Now, she shouldn't have came back at her own event, but you can't tell her how to she need to come back. Okay? And if that picture was on the internet, then she shouldn't have no problem with it. Okay? It is what it is. So it's a whole lot of folks seen it. Okay? Okay. So you should keep your motherfucking mouth shut, Cynthia. That's why Kenya ain't friends with you now. You should keep your motherfucking mouth shut. And you done lost all cool points with me about that goddamn comment. Okay? You need to sit your old ass down some damn where. Anyway. Pistol grip pimp. Pistol grip pimp. Pistol grip Brick start crying. Bitch.
Stop fucking crying, bitch. Where? I don't want to fucking hear it.
I don't fucking want to hear it. She cried every fucking episode. Even before Kenya's event. She cried every motherfucking episode. Sit your ass down somewhere, dry your motherfucking tears up, and suck that fucking shit up. Oh, I'm sorry. That was just a whole rant. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta bring that down. Oh, I gotta bring that down. But that bitch, please. Anyway, so Angela, of course, she said, well, missteps were made. And I apologize. Now, Drew didn't apologize. Yes, right. Stand on business, Drew. Stand on business. She ain't apologized. I wouldn't either. But Angela, she apologized. Whatever. So, Drew said we were missing our friend. But that does not negate you and minimize you. Whatever. And so she said, can you understand that? And Pistol Grip said, I understand what you're saying. Anyway, so they get back on the bus. Pistol Grip in the back. She drunk. Cynthia is the whiskey champion. Yeah, because she got some weight on y'all. So she can hang. Pistol Grip, she ain't got that much weight on her. So she was, Andrew, she was drunk too. Anyway, so Porsha's on the phone. She dressed in all white. She on the phone with PJ and Dennis. Okay, keep in mind that she in all white. So Cynthia come down for her little cowboy dinner first. The cowboys make her a drink and things like that. Pistol Grip come. Drew come, and I don't know what the fuck Shamia had on. That shit was country and fuck. That shit was tacky as shit. I don't know what the fuck she had on. Angela comes down and Kelly comes down. Kelly and Pistol Grip are twinning again. Paris, stop it. Okay, stop it. Okay, so then Porsha arrives in all black. Okay, all right. She arrives in all black. So everybody got to ask her, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Whatever. So then Porsha in the confessional saying, I just got off the phone. I just got a phone call that Drew and Dennis filmed together. So, so, they go down and they learn a line dance from Fat Boy Blake and his bicep gang. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm back. I got a phone call and the phone was still on Do Not Disturb, but I have no idea how that phone call came in. But we gonna keep it going. So like I said, they learn a line dance with Fat Boy Blake and the bicep gang. You couldn't see their face, but all you saw was their arms. So I call them the bicep gang. And yeah, so they learned a line dance. Kelly was messing up. Angela was stiff. And Shamia, she a dancer, so she had to show out. Okay. And Porsha was acting like, she don't want to do this. Okay, anyway. So they sit down. The hostess is basically the hostess and plus the birthday girl, because she was radio styling. It was like this. Okay, yeah. So everybody. So they like, what's wrong? What's wrong? She's like, I'm just tired. So Britt said, no, Angela said, Britt, you said sometimes I come across as a victim. But honestly, I don't know how I come across as being a victim. Me neither, girl. I don't know either. And she said, and Porsha, you called me Victimina last night. And so, but then Shamia like, yeah, because she said you be gaslighting. And so she was like, well, tell me how. Tell me how. I want to know. And Porsha sitting there with her big teeth sitting there stuffing her face. And then she was like, I don't remember. Because there was none. Okay? Because there was none. She wasn't gaslighting and she wasn't playing the victim. Okay? Now, Britt was playing the victim. Okay? And Porsha, you may have been gaslighting, but I have to rewind that show. Anyway, so Angela was like, Porsha, if I have offended you in any way, I apologize. And but she said, but I want to know why I'm the only one who's held accountable. She said, because Kelly asked you a question at the beginning, and she said she asked you a question at the beginning, and we still didn't get an answer. And so Kelly was like, yeah, that's two separate situations. That's what it was. That was it. Hi, I'm Nora Simpson. That's an old Sanford & Son. But anyway. So Kelly was like, that's two separate situations. That's how Kelly sound. So then Angela was like, listen, accountability is accountability. And the whole world wants to know. I know that's right. So Cynthia was like, well, I think we should move on. She was like, but Porsha, would you like to give Angela an answer? And Porsha was like, yeah, Angela can kiss my ass. And so she was like, she said the whole world can kiss your ass. She was like, well, you first. And then Angela in the confessional, she said, I don't want to kiss that fix-a-flat. I died. I laughed so hard, I woke up my baby, honey. I woke up my grandbaby, honey, because she was asleep. And I laughed so hard, I done woke the baby up. That's how I laughed so goddamn loud. Oh, she said, I don't want to kiss Fix a Flat. Now, however, Porsha probably got her butt, you know, enhanced by Dr. Curves, okay, and Dr. Curves, I don't think he used no Fix a Flat, but okay, that may be saline or that may be fat transfers, allegedly, okay, but he don't use no Fix a Flat, okay, so her and her mama got, allegedly got, fat transfers, saline, high, whatever they, to enhance their bottoms, okay? But it wasn't Fix a Flat. But it was funny. That was a read all day long and twice on Sunday. So it was funny. But I don't think they got that Fix a Flat. It's something else though. It's some ass enhancement. But it wasn't Fix a Flat. But it was funny though. Anyway, so Drew said, I want to address the elephant in the room. She said, Porsha, are you okay with me being here? And so Porsha was like, you straight. That's passive aggressive. That is so passive aggressive. Okay. Speaking of gaslighting, playing the victim, passive aggressiveness too. Okay. So Drew get up. She said, I'm going to leave. Because that nice, nasty response was so immature. She said, I don't have to deal with this. I wasn't even invited. Peace out, bitches. She didn't say all that, but that's what I was saying. Fuck you, and the voice you worked in on. Okay? I don't have to deal with none of this bullshit, okay? Peace out. Okay? Everybody don't want her to go. She's like, I'm out. So Shamia and Angela go talk to Drew. She was like, listen, I got a lot to deal with at home. I don't want to deal with this. And then Cynthia and Porsha talk, and she's saying the same thing. Porsha saying she got a lot to deal with at home too, and she don't want to deal with it either. So y'all both in the same boat. Okay, y'all both in the same boat. So y'all need to really, lean on each other, but Porsha, you making up this damn issue, because I still don't believe that when Drew and Dennis started to go into the studio, that Drew didn't call Porsha and Dennis didn't call Ralph. I don't believe that at all. I believe they did it, and I believe they lying to say because they don't have no goddamn storyline. Okay, Porsha don't have no goddamn storyline because she can't even mention Simon, or he gonna call his lawyer for a cease and desist. She can't even mention him. Can't film in the house. He can't do shit. That's what you get when you marry somebody that you don't motherfucking know. That's what you get. Okay? That's the fuck you get. You got engaged a month later. That's because you knew him. You was already fucking him. Anyway. So anyway. So, but Cynthia and Porsha had a good laugh off her taking her eyelashes off. Good for them. So then, Shamia, Kelly, Pistol Grip, and Porsha, they put their swimsuits on. Diaper booties were full effect. Okay, and they get into the water. Angela, grown ass, was upstairs with a bonnet on. So you not 43, because the 43-year-olds were in the water. Even the 50, I think she 56. She may be 57. I think no, she may be 58. I think Cynthia's probably 58. I think Cynthia's probably 58. Now 58 girl. Oh, she almost 60. Yeah, she's sitting around the pool, but the the 50-year-old. Okay, she probably my age. She probably about 54. Okay, who carried this fan? She up there with her bonnet on. Okay, so she said she was on the phone with Charles, and she said around 2:30 in the morning. She said that she heard her name downstairs, and she was like, they was talking about me, so she tried to record it, and then she was like, no, I ain't even gonna try to record it. She said, I'm going down there because she said that she heard Porsha say she better watch it before I fuck Charles. So she turned into Big Ange. Okay? She turned into Big Ange, okay?
No, God! No, God, please, no!
Okay? She turned into Big Ange, and she went downstairs to go confront Porsha, okay? So she go downstairs, and she was just like, I heard my name, da 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 da. Porsha had her towel on, and she hightailed it back in the house. She didn't even say nothing to Angela. She ain't say nothing to nobody else. She hightailed it back in the house. Okay, she ain't want to get with Big Ange. Okay, cause Big Ange is 6 feet. Okay. She ain't want no parts of Big Ange, okay? She ain't want no parts, okay? So then she in the confessional talking about, I ain't say anything. So basically she was drunk on Hennessy, because she stole her Fallon's husband and her Hennessy. Shout out to Rodney the Voice. But she ain't say anything. Whatever. But Kelly told it. She said, listen, she said in the confession, she said, yeah, she said she better stop before I fuck her husband. Okay. And so they leave the next day. Angela didn't want to speak to nobody. Her and Drew had their bags packed. Kelly trying to talk to Angela was like, I can't be phony. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I ain't mad at her. So that's where the episode ended. Okay. So give me a thumbs up. Like, share, and subscribe and comment to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.